Alright, what's going on everyone? Today we're going to be talking about all the cards revealed in OP07, 500 years into the future. It's an egghead set. It doesn't come out in the US for quite some time. It'll release in June of 2024. We will see it after set 6 in March. But let's go ahead and take a look. What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about OP07. So far, a couple of cards have been released, and we're going to talk about the best cards that may impact the meta. So we haven't seen the full set. However, we're going to talk about just a couple of leaders that might be relevant, and we will talk about legacy decks, decks that have been previously out there that might get new support, and we'll talk about just some of these card reveals and how they might impact them. So let's go ahead, dive in. So the first leader that we're going to touch on is, of course, one of the new leaders, Jewelry Bonnie. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this because it has the most evergreen effect. When opponent attacks once per turn, you can rest one Don, rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters. Rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters. No requirements, no cost limitations, nothing, just pure resting. So by leaving one Dawn up, you give your access to guaranteeing one attack doesn't happen, unless if they have rush and they only have their leader. But so incredibly powerful effect there. Plus, if you're wanting to starve your opponent, you can use it and then create a target for yourself to attack if they weren't going to attack. So just overall, very strong card. The only way they can get around it is essentially not attacking. And then, of course, so with that, we're going to see some Supernova support. One of the super rares that have been revealed is Basil Hawkins. Now, this is a card that is essentially a better 7-drop NL. If your leader has Supernova in its type, so Law or Bonnie, or even I think the Luffy, red-green Luffy has it too, this character gains blocker. So now he's a blocker with 7k. Plus his just regular effect. Once per turn, if this character were to be removed from play by one of your opponent's effects, you may instead rest one of your opponent's characters. So the only way they can get rid of this is to attack it. If it would be removed from play, so bottom decking or attacking, cannot, and you rest one of theirs. So once again, you've got 2 rest cards in Bonnie. Now, that's great and all. And there is some more cards that you could consider support for Bonnie. But Trafalgar Law is so back, question mark. Let's see. So we get a 5-cost Jewelry Bonnie with Supernova tag, so searchable off of Bonnie. So Bonnie can search Bonnie. You can play this for 2, and then this card destroys yellow. On play, up to one of your opponent's rested characters or Dawn do not become active during their next refresh phase. So either when they go at 8, they have to attach all of their Dawn to prevent this from happening, or you can play this and they can't 10-drop you. This can also, it's a Pseudo Magellan. You can force them to play a turn off curve, while also establishing this body and playing it for 2. Of course, still good in regular Bonnie, but this card you can play for 2 in Law, which can become ludicrous because you can cycle it back and continually use it. So really excited for this. And then, of course, just revealed Monkey D. Luffy 5, Supernova, Bonnie searchable again, Straw Hat Crew, searchable by Nami. If you have 3 or more characters, your cost 3 or lower characters, other than Monkey D. Luffy, cannot be KO'd by your opponent's card effects. So everything that Sakaluchi does, gone. They have to remove this first. And you can play it for 2. And you can search it with 2 different cards. This card is going to be huge. So I imagine that this is a 4-of. I don't see a world where it's not. Especially because Sakazuki, so Lucci, gone. Can't Lucci. You got to remove this first. Another new leader we see is Foxy. Now, this honestly has me kind of excited. I always thought that this would be like a fun character, or it'd have some kind of like, look at your opponent's hand, or like some form of like cheat mechanic, because spoilers, Foxy is known for being dishonest, cheating, a true pirate, if you would. But 5 life, 5k power. When attacking, Dawn -3. If you have 3 or more Foxy pirate characters in play, choose up to one of each of your opponent's rested leaders and characters. The cards you choose do not become active during their owner's next refresh phase. So that's literally, he hits him with the slow beam. So you minus, and then if you're at 10, it really only costs 1 Dawn, and they have a ton of ramp. But you do have to have 3, and then you can choose 1 leader and character, it seems, that will not become active. And then we've got Porsche, so the first couple of support cards. On play, loot -1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may add up to 1 with the type Foxy Pirates to hand. Place the remainder on the bottom, and then you may play up to 1 4,000 power or lower purple character from your hand. So on 3, you can go down to 2 and play another card potentially that you find. So this is essentially like Holly, except you -1 Dawn, and it's a 3/5. So it's a solid swinger, but on top of that, you get this nice guy who fits just in there. Activate main once per turn if your leader has the Foxy Pirates type, and you do not have any other characters in play named Itomimizu. Add up to 1 rested Dawn from your Dawn deck. So you gain a Dawn. So you can go Porsche, play him, -1 to play him, and then you gain 1. So you just go positive. But then on top of that, each main turn, you can play him, or you can use his effect and get that rested Dawn back. On top of that, you can use it with Foxy Leader's ability. If this card sticks around, you can continually, so your -3 is essentially -0 because you'll use him to ramp 1. But it gets better. We get Foxy. And it's just kind of like what you would expect. I absolutely love this. I'm so looking forward to seeing the alternate art. But I think this deck has so much potential because they're really just showing like ramp power for him. And like he feels like he's going to be like turbo and then down. But you're going to be able to drop these super early is the hope. But imagine playing 2 of these. On opponent's turn, it's a 7/7. If your leader has the Foxy Pirates type, all your opponent's characters have power -1000. This is what King should have been. This is what King should have been. And then activate main. Once per turn, add up to 1 rested Dawn from your Dawn deck. So again, he ramps. So you play him on 7, you go 8. And then you're going 10. So phenomenal there. I feel like they're going to have some kind of crazy 10 drop. I hope we see a slow beam effect like event. But yeah, so all your opponent's characters are -1000. So if you play 2 of these, they're swinging up, like swinging up hard. They're going to need at least 1 to 2 Dawn to swing. Doesn't affect their leader, but it does affect all of their characters, which is huge. And he's kind of big, so it's slightly hard to remove. But yeah, so the fact that you can stack this, I think this card has big potential, and I'm really excited to see what the rest have. But I think Foxy could potentially have a place in the meta, depending. Now, some of the other reveals leads me to think Doflamingo is back. So, classic leader, we essentially know Moria as a different version of Doflamingo. Doflamingo, though, you attach to pay 1 swing, so for 3, and then you reveal the top card, and you can play it if it's a 7 Warlord. So, very strong effect. You essentially, for 3 Dawn, you're swinging 8, but then you get to play a character, or you're swinging 7, and you get to play a character for 1 without losing hand advantage. And, you know, it is rested, but it is what it is. But you get a free bodies, so you don't have to rely on your hand to play those bodies. Now, we get a Warlord Searcher. Sengoku. On play, you look at the top 5, reveal 1 of the 7 Warlords, and add it to your hand. Then place the remaining on the bottom. So you can search for Warlords, which is big, because you can get to Moria and blue-black. You can search Moria, so kind of gross, but yeah, it can really just get you the turn 1 play. If you don't have the Perona, you could potentially find the 3-drop Dofi blocker. Just some potential here. Will it be played? Maybe, maybe not, but it does build upon that. But then we get 2 new Warlords that have already been announced that fit within his summoning requirements. There are some more, but this, so you can play it out and then activate main. You can return this to your hand. If your opponent has 6 or more cards, they bottom deck 1. In their hand, if they have 6 or more cards, they bottom deck 1. So you can bring this out for free, add a 2K, and then make your opponent -1. And you can do it again the next turn. Or if you do it, then you can return it and play it once again and potentially take out 2 cards. Very strong. Very strong. But it gets even better because we get to see Jinbei. Now, Jinbei, again, 7 Warlord, 4/5. He's got counter. We love that. On play. Play up to 1 4-cost or lower 7 Warlord card type from your hand other than Jinbei. So, you can go turn 3, or turn 2, 3 Dawn turn, swing 7, play Jinbei, Jinbei effect, play Law, play Mihawk, play whomever, play Moria, the 4/6 Moria. And then you just establish 2 big bodies, and they're going on their first turn to swing. You probably keep those, and then you're going to be at 3 bodies. So this can get out of control very fast and become very strong. Very excited. I think that this card just alone gives him that opportunity to be relevant again. Again, there is some crazy power creep feel, but we'll see what happens. But I do think Doflamingo could very well find his way back in at like tier 2, maybe tier 1, depending if they get even more support. But also Enel just can't keep him down. True to his name, we got a new ace, and it hurts my heart because this card is so much better for not ace, because on play you may add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, so just guaranteed adds 1. So like Yamato and then into ace. But then if you have 2 life or less, which Enel typically does, he gains rush, so he's a 10k rusher in Enel. Very hard to get this value in blue yellow ace, but we do see some support. But this card, very cool. I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait to own it. It looks amazing, but it does hurt my heart just a little bit that it's better for Enel than it is for ace, depending what they bring out. But also red, yellow, ace should have been. We also get 1 more card so far that supports Enel, and that's Lucy. Once again, I haven't seen this character in the anime in forever. In the manga, neither. I don't know what happened to him. Apparently they're part of the Revolutionary Army. I don't know. But when attacking once per turn, you may put the top or bottom card of your life pile into your hand. So you take it, add it to your hand, rest it to one of your opponent's 4 costs or less. Then, if your life total is 1 or less, place the top card of your deck onto the pile of your life. So you essentially add it to hand, and then you potentially put it back. So you can like draw 1 and put something else there, but also like resting a blocker. And it's when attacking. So if you've established it, it's a pseudo Amaru, that's the one. And yeah, so definitely stay tuned for more. I can definitely talk more about all the leaders. Let me know, as always, what you would like to see in the comments below. And if you found this content of value, if you could do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton. Over 80% of my viewers are not currently subscribed. And as always, thank you.